So in Lab 10, you build a model like the one that's over here, and then you're asked to run the model for many replications for several different configurations, and then compare those configurations in order to make inferences about some general principles of operation for this model. And so that's kind of summarized in these steps that are over here. Now you can certainly do that manually by running this model over and over and over again, changing those things, generating the data, tabulating the data on your own, and then comparing those. But fortunately, Arena provides tools like the Process Analyzer and OptQuest that simplify and automate the experience of running those experiments. And so I'm going to show you in this video how to use the Process Analyzer to simplify these tasks. So here's a model that's already been built. I'm going to go under Tools and then go under Process Analyzer. Now, I need to make sure that I've run this model at least once so that the DOE file can produce a .p file that can be brought into the Process Analyzer. So if you haven't run your model once, make sure it works, and then there should now be a .p file in the same folder as your .doe file. So if you go into the Process Analyzer, I can then say I want to create a new project, new, and I will need to save that project as something before I can run it, so I may as well do that now. So I'll just save it as whatever the model name is, .pan for Process Analyzer file. And then under Scenarios, so maybe I'll open this up a little bit so that we can better read what's going on. I can see that there's, under Process Items, there's this Scenarios block. If I double click to add a scenario, it says, what do you want to call it? I'll just call it Scenario 1. This scenario is a configuration that I would like to test under my model here. So I'm going to say under Program File, hit Browse. I'll find that .p file. So in this case, it's this one. And it says, okay, the program file's okay. I can hit OK here, and I've got the beginnings of a scenario. So now if I were to right click on these, I can say insert control and insert response. So I'm going to first insert my controls. These are the things that I can edit. And one thing that I care about is the number of replications. I want to make sure I see how many reps it's scheduled to run. And I would like to have each of my scenario run, say, 10 replications. Or actually, I'm going to start with 5 replications for this demo. And then I'm going to insert another control, and that'll be under user specified. And I know that restart was one of the control variables, one of the decision variables. So then under insert control, I also know that the max batch is the other control variable. So then I need something to measure. So I'm going to right click on this and say insert response. And then under response, I think under my user specified, I've got the response variables here, and I'm interested in 2 response variables. The record startups, that is a counter that counts the number of restarts, as well as the max batch value. And so I'm going to select match batch value, and then I'll go and insert response, and then I'll say I want to do the record startups as well. Okay, so I now can go to this edit menu for this scenario and say duplicate scenarios, and I'm going to do that twice. And then I'll rename these scenarios Scenario 2 and Scenario 3. I could rename them whatever I want, and then I'm going to choose values for restart and match batch. Now, I want you to come up with some interesting choices for restart and max batch that help you answer these questions here. Just so I don't do too much work for you, I'm going to pick maybe bad choices, so I'm not going to do much of a range of restart nor much of a range of max batch. So under restart, let's say I do 10, 11, and 12. Now you might want to use a bigger range for restart, and then under max batch, maybe I'll just do the opposite pattern, 12, 11, and 10. Okay, so I've got 3 scenarios, and each scenario corresponds to a different configuration of this. If I were to then highlight these 3 scenarios, like I did here, and then go up and hit this play button, or go into the run menu and say go, and let me see if I can make these buttons a little larger so we all can see. I guess the problem using large buttons is they kind of disappear, so I'll maybe turn those small buttons back. Highlight these and hit run. And what happens then is it says, do you really want me to run these? Yes, I want to run those 3 scenarios, and I can watch this reps column as it runs all 5 replications of this, all 5 replications here, all 5 replications here. Then it shows me the average value across those 5 replications pops up here and here. Now already I can see the differences in the averages here, but I might want to more statistically rigorously compare these. And so let's say I highlight these startups, and because I'm interested in knowing which configuration gives me the minimum number of restarts. So I'm just going to highlight these here and go into Insert and then say Chart. And I'm going to select a box and whisker chart for this, which will, per replication, so notice up here it says compare the average values of a response variable across the scenarios. So within a scenario, it's going to take all 5 replications and generate a box and whisker, and then it's going to do that across the 3 scenarios so that I can compare them. So now I can hit Next. And then this is the response variable I want. I want to go across all 3 scenarios. On my x-axis, I could put, if I only varied one thing, I might put that one decision variable there. But because I'm varying 2 decision variables, I'm going to just put the scenario name on the x-axis. And then I can adjust my, aesthetic stuff here, which is great to do, but I'm going to skip ahead. And then I'm going to say, I could say include row numbers, and that would put something in front of here. You do that if you forget to properly, make your scenario names. And so I'm going to unselect that. But then I also I'll say identify best scenarios. And in this case, I want to minimize the number of restarts. So I'm going to say smaller is better. And if I just want to see what it'll end up plotting, but if I just want to see ahead of time, I can hit show best scenarios. And I end up seeing it shows all 3 scenarios here. And let's see what's going on there. So hit finish. It plots this chart, which I can't really see, but if I right click and then say view max, I get this chart up here, and it shows me that there is some difference across my 3 scenarios, but there is so much variance that statistically speaking, it cannot tell a difference between these. So if I were to run an ANOVA, the p-value for the ANOVA would be greater than 0.05. So that tells me that I didn't generate enough data to and magnifying this difference. And so I'm just going to go back, and I am going to change the number of replications to be larger. So instead of 5, I'm just going to run 50. So it's warning me that, oh, by the way, I already have data here. If you change this, I'm going to lose all that data, and I'm okay with that. So I'm going to say, don't show me this again, hit OK, change this to 50, and I'll change this to 50 on all of them. And then I'm going to delete this chart because I need to regenerate it after I'm done. So now I'm going to run this with far more data and see if I can now discriminate between these scenarios or among these scenarios. So it's going to take a little while to run these 50 replications, but we see it running here. It's not going to take that long. It's running 150 replications, 50 of each of these 3 models. But I'm going to pause so that I don't have to kill time this whole time, and I'll come back when it's done. And we're back, and it had finished all of those replications, and I can see it's got outputs here. My startups still are not that different, but the real question is the variance within each scenario across the 50 replications small enough that I can actually order them in a statistically rigorous way? So let's, again, we'll insert a chart. I'm going to do a box and whisker chart. I'm going to make sure I'm comparing across as opposed to within a scenario. And across these 3 replications, scenario name, that looks fine. Identify best scenarios, smaller is better. If I hit show best scenarios, it looks like it can discriminate now. So if I end up making this big so I can see it, then now I see that scenario 1, 2, and 3 actually have a small enough variance, so a small enough confidence interval, that it is possible to say that the population of scenario 3 is better than the populations of scenario 1 and 2. And I can say that in a statistically significant, in a rigorous way. So I can't say anything about how 1 compares to 2, although it looks like 1 is probably different than 2. This particular test, this best of n scenario test, has been designed so that it just ends up finding the scenarios within a 5% error rate that are best. So it doesn't rank all of them, it just finds the scenarios that are definitely better than the others, but the others, those that don't fall into that category, it doesn't actually order them in any statistically significant way. If I really wanted to order all of the scenarios, I would take all of the data from all of my replications, and I would put that into something like an ANOVA, and then I would run something like a Tukey test or Fisher's LSD, and those post hoc tests would actually be able to group all of them so I could sort all of them. But this sort of best of test here is only going to put the red on ones and possibly many that are the best, but the rest that aren't the best, I have no idea about the rankings. Again, just because they look like they're ranked in a particular way, with a 5% error rate, we can't say for sure that they are ranked that way. But I can say with a 5% error rate that scenario 3 is better than all the other scenarios. If there were 2 red scenarios here and 1 blue one, I could say with a 5% error rate that the red scenarios were better than the blue scenarios. But I couldn't say anything about how the red scenarios compare to themselves, nor how do the blue scenarios compare to themselves. So this is how the process analyzer automates the running of these experiments and then helps compare the results in a rigorous statistical way so that you can pick the best one. And you can choose what it means by best, as in higher numbers or lower numbers. And in this case, I chose a lower number. So if you'd like, you can use the process analyzer to solve this problem here in Lab 10. But you will have to use a different set of restart and max batch, because ultimately you want to be able to answer these questions, and these questions require you to sort of think more critically about these restart and max batch. So I would recommend having a wider range of restart and max batch, and if you'd like, you can even run more than 3. I'm going to stop this video here, but then I will record another video showing you how you could use OptQuest instead of the process analyzer if you really were interested in finding the best combination of restart and max batch, but you didn't want to come up with all of the possible combinations and then choose among those with the process analyzer. So in OptQuest, you'll be able to give it a range of restarts and a range of max batches. It will figure out all of this on its own, and so in the fastest sort of possible way, it will then be able to output, this is the best restart and this is the best max batch. That's kind of different than what you want to do here. Here you're sort of you're trying to really understand what restart and max batch do, whereas in OptQuest you're doing the more quantitative task of saying, I don't care qualitatively what restart and max batch do, I really know what's the best combination of those. So I wouldn't really recommend using OptQuest to solve Lab 10. I'd probably recommend using the process analyzer or by doing it manually, but I still want to show you that in a job the next question would be like, okay, so what is the best? And that's what you use OptQuest for. So if you're interested in OptQuest, check out that next video.